here talking with Emmy-nominated composer Ramin Djawadi. Ramin has composed the scores to films such as Ask the Dust, Iron Man, Clash of the Titans, the TV series Prison Break, and Flash Forward, for which he was nominated for an Emmy. Ramin's most recent project is the newest entry in the Medal of Honor franchise, which has seen some of the best music in the history of video games. Michael Giacchino started this franchise off years ago, and in a sense, this is the series that launched his career. Christopher Leonard has also made his mark in this franchise, composing some amazing music. And now EA has decided to take the franchise to a modern warfare realm, which is where Ramin comes in. Well, okay, so before we get into Medal of Honor, I guess I'd like to let's talk about you a bit. So, what made you want to compose, music for film and television, and when did you decide that's what you wanted to do for a living?
I knew pretty early on when I got into music as I think I was 4 when I started playing piano. So I learned very early on, and it turned out that the music that I was writing was always tending to be more instrumental than a song. So even though I played in bands as a teenager and I loved all that, but I knew that eventually I wanted to go into film music. And then also movies. Actually, my favorites were Magnificent Seven and of course Star Wars. So when I saw those movies and that music, when I heard that music, I thought, wow, this is something I really want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's So it's been very early that I really set out to do this.
Well, that's good. I mean, music is for me, I guess, as a writer and a director, that's my tool for writing, and it's really my source of inspiration, and including your music over the years. What do you
Oh, thank you.
what do you use for, I guess, your inspiration? How do you get the juices flowing? Is it just usually the images are enough, or do you have other places where you find the ideas?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very influenced by the images. Yeah, so if I get to see the film, it's the pictures I'm very influenced by colors, which is interesting for
Mm.
me. Always when depending on the tone of the film, that's what really inspires me. So that's one big source, and then another might just be, yeah, I guess the story. I mean, I think anything but music, I think, inspires me to kind of get into the film.
Interesting. Um, so I guess many film composers nowadays are doing video games, and I guess the line between video games and films are almost crossing in a way. Um, in your mind, what are the main differences between, I guess, film scoring and game scoring, and does one pose more challenges than the other?
Um, I don't know if one poses more challenges, but it's. I mean, a lot of it is actually the same. I think the major difference is I want to say is that in video games, most of it is not written to picture, but you're just kind of writing for a scene. And the task will be, okay, here we're going to have a 2-minute action cue, and it has to build towards the end. But throughout the track, you're not really trying to hit anything um, in the game, because obviously you can't anticipate of where the player will be at what time, and
Right.
then some of those tracks will also loop, so they have to repeat, and so that's really the major difference. But what's exciting about it is actually that it's very freeing too. So in the case of Medal of Honor, they actually would give me gameplay footage where they would just capture themselves playing the level, and then we would just talk about it. It's almost like spotting a film, I guess, where EA would tell me and said, look, somewhere around here we probably would love to start the music, and then we'll just have it go, and then I would just let that run in the background just as inspiration, um, and then we'll just write a track that I felt would be cool for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest difference. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, so we know that Michael Giacchino and Christopher Leonard's kind of took this franchise to where it is now. So how did you get involved with the project?
Um, Pure coincidence. I was actually at a friend's birthday party, and I ran into somebody from EA, and we started talking, and then it came out that actually I'm a big gamer. Especially as a kid, I used to play a lot of games. Nowadays, I don't have the time anymore, unfortunately, that much. But I love games. So she said, "Well, have you ever done have you ever done a game before?" And I said, "Well, no." And she said, "Well, we'd love to work with you." And that's how that all started up. And then I came over to their offices and had a meeting with everybody, and then they just we decided that Medal of Honor could be a great fit.
Yeah.
to work together. So that's how that came together.
So, and looking, I guess, at games in this genre and even films in this genre, I think it's, I guess, fair to credit. I think Black Hawk Down is the movie that's kind of set the modern warfare tone in terms of film and sound. And then we saw have Call of Duty, Stephen Barton, Harry Gregson Williams, and then recently Lauren Balfe and Hans Zimmer did another Call of Duty game. Did you look at those scores to work within the genre, the sound of the genre, or did you just kind of take a fresh approach and cleared your mind completely?
Yeah, I took a completely fresh approach. In fact, we didn't. There was no music, which was kind of great actually. There was no music placed in the game at all. So we just were literally just looking at dry footage and sound effects, um, and that's how I just got going. And it was all based on just conversation and the sounds that we wanted to use and things like that. So yeah, so we started completely clean. Yeah.
And what I love, I think about I really love the score, by the way. But what I love about the
Oh,
music
thank you.
here is it's not treating the game as an action movie. And in all honesty, the score moved me at times. And I think the two major themes that I was able to pick out, they almost seem like hymns to me. And in the track "Falling Away," you actually have like a chant going on, and the theme is beautiful. And what's the story behind that?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to a person at EA that I worked very closely with, Eric Kraber. He's been I worked very closely with him in creating the score, and what we really wanted to, what we always emphasized on was that yes, this is a shooter game and there's a lot of action, but we wanted to make sure that that we stay true to the Medal of Honor franchise, which is that there always is a lot of emotion involved.
Mm-hmm.
So it we really paid a lot of attention to deciding of where we wanted to be aggressive with the action or where we wanted to pull back from that and just be really emotional. So I had a lot of fun, trying to do different things with orchestra or just the choir and so or just solo instruments too. A lot of it was emphasized on the solo violin or solo cello.
And all right, so video games I guess take years to create. So, what's the time frame you had for scoring the game, and at what point in the game making process did you start getting involved?
On this one, actually, I came on very early on. I think the score was written over the course of a year,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually really great to be. I really wanted to be part of that family as early as possible. So I came on early. Most I want to say most of the levels actually weren't even ready. They had certain scenes and a lot of just artwork ready, and so I just started writing based on that. And so over the course of the year, of course, I didn't work on it entirely of the year. I did other projects in between, but it was just great to see how the game evolved, and that's how the music evolved with it. So it was nice to do it that way. We had a lot of time to experiment.
That's good. That's time is always a luxury, I think.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't get that much anymore these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. How much music did you end up recording at the end?
It was a little bit over 100 minutes. It was a lot of
Wow.
music. I think the game is, I want to say, over 6 hours long. So actually 100 minutes doesn't even seem like that much compared to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of music.
And so as I was listening, through the score, the last track kind of echoes the theme in a very emotional and almost haunting way. And at first, I thought it was a voice, but then it started to sound like an instrument. And so, is that what instrument is that? It's very beautiful.
No, it is actually a voice.
Oh, it's a
The,
voice.
the
Oh, wow.
it is a voice. Yeah, but that the beginning, the theme, yeah, that is the solo voice. Yes.
Oh, wow. It's
Mhm.
amazing. um, well, I guess to wrap things up a bit, I always like to ask composers this question. If you got the opportunity to score any film ever made, with no disrespect to the original composer, what film would you pick?
Oh my God. I don't think I've ever been asked this question before. Um, hmm. I want to say I probably picked The Magnificent Seven just purely for the fact that that is the film that got me into film music, and I admire the film and I admire the score so much. So I mean that's probably what I I don't know. It's actually I'm caught off guard with that question because that's what I would pick, but at the same time, to me, this it's also holy. So why even
Yeah,
touch it?
yeah, I know.
I
I
could
love.
not possibly do it any better, even not even close.
Right. I mean, are you a
So
fan? Are you a fan of the Western music genre?
I was, yeah. That was as a kid, I was intrigued with that, and because yeah, I wanted to move to the U.S. So watching westerns, that just kind of was the
Yeah, yeah,
envisioning the U.S. for me. So
yeah.
that's why I was a big fan.
The Leone films are my personal favorite. Those are that's where I love my music.
Hmm.
What music do you typically listen to, like in your car or at home?
It's a wide range. I go all the way from the traditional classical music to rock or even sometimes a bit of hip hop. So I really try to stay as diverse as I can.
Hmm.
Um, so I just always try to be up to date. So I will listen to what's current on the radio and the charts, and then um, so I go all the way through. But my favorite, I have to say, is probably actually the old traditional uh, orchestral classical music. Actually, that is my favorite.
Who's your favorite composer?
Brahms. I love Brahms.
Yeah. Wow.
But so anybody from the Romantic period, I'm a big fan. Brahms. I love Elgar, Schumann, Tchaikovsky.
Hmm.
So those are my favorites. Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like looking back at your body of work so far, there's a lot more to come. But what score of yours to this date are you most proud of? That you're proud to call a Ramin Djawadi score?
That is it's always that's a tough question too. Um, I don't know. Every See, what's exciting about being a film composer is that every movie demands something different from you, and
Right.
stylistically you have to do something else. So that's what I love about being a film composer. You can be like a chameleon. You always have to try something else. So I don't know if I can
What,
pick
what
a favorite. I might.
what's your
Yeah,
favorite?
that's. I think that's a
What's
tough
your favorite?
one.
What's your favorite genre like to work with?
um, I love animation. Actually, I have to say, animation is something that I've discovered over the years that I really loved because you can. There's such a diversity there, and you can also be, I guess, still so over the top with orchestra in the traditional sense, where in a lot of these modern action movies, a lot of time you can't anymore, just because it's stylistically it has evolved so much that if you're um, if you're too traditional, that's many times not wanted anymore. So maybe that's why I love animation.
Oh, yeah, I loved your score to "Fly Me to the Moon." It was really great.
Oh, thank you.
And so, any projects in the pipeline coming up?
There is a TV show coming up with the producers and writers from Prison Break. It's called Breakout Kings. So that's coming up next. I think it's going to start airing next year sometime in the
Okay,
spring.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I really thank you for the time. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor to talk to you.
Oh, thank you
So,
very much for being
um,
interested in talking with me. Thank you very much.
I guess I'll let you go, and hopefully we get to do this sometime again in the future.
Sure, definitely.
All right.
Sounds great.
Thank you,
All
Ramin.
right. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.
Mm.